Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is Monday, September 30th, 2013. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's jump right into the charts here. We're going to start off with the usual S&P 500 E-mini futures, and the futures are getting hammered to the downside this morning. So futures are trading lower by about 16 points. It's right now to around 1670 and a half per contract. So this is a big decline. You could see really the market really under big trouble this morning. Looks like the debt ceiling is looming. Government shutdown is becoming more and more possible. Although there won't be an actual shutdown, it is definitely leading the charge here this morning. Markets are coming unwound. Now, I'm not to say if there's a government shutdown, it'll be a good thing or a bad thing. But what I will say is that the markets right now are really selling across the board. Last night in Asia, you did have the Nikkei 225 index down about 2%, over 2%. So I think traders now just looking at that move last night, and we'll pull up the Nikkei 225 here. This will tell us that Japanese ADRs should be pretty weak going forward. You can see that pretty decent decline right there. So Japanese ADRs should be pretty weak going forward today as long as the U.S. markets are weak. That's first and foremost. When we look at the other indexes out there, the Shanghai Composite, which will be closed, I believe, for the rest of the week, but was open last night, was able to finish with a gain of 0.7%. So China did not fare that poorly, but you did have India, I believe, down 1.76%. As we talked about with Japan down over 2%. So some big declines last night in the Asian markets, with the exception of the Shanghai index, which will really be on holiday going forward. A lot of times before a holiday, you'll get a light volume float, and I think that's what we saw last night in the Shanghai Composite. But looking over at Europe this morning, Europe is down across the board. Italy again leading the charge, down nearly 2% this morning. So once again, all of the European markets are sharply lower. I think traders want to be a little bit cautious today, a little bit on the careful side. But either way, we have about 15 hours before the so-called government shutdown. Now again, this is not going to be a total shutdown. The mail will still be getting delivered. Checks will still be getting delivered. But you're going to have things like the museums shut down, possibly, and things of that nature. But the bills will still get paid. And revenues will still be brought in. Looking over the market today, we'll see exactly how this all shakes out. But any way you slice it or dice it, the news is going to be all about the government shutdown. We could look at stocks till we're blue in the face. At 9:45 this morning, you're going to get the Chicago PMI report. I don't know if anybody's even looking at it. They're worried about or more concerned with the government shutdown. 10 o'clock, you'll also have the manufacturing activity report out of Dallas, Fed, 10:30. Nobody's really going to care about that stuff. So, again, this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're looking at. We'll see how it plays out. Now, there are some stocks today in the news. I believe Apple's going to be a volatile mover because Apple CEO is going to meet with Carl Icahn today. So let's just go to the Apple chart this morning. And you'll see that Apple is trading around the 478 level. Closed at 482, not a big deal. The stock usually gaps up or down $5 or $6 each and every morning. Either way, Carl Icahn will be meeting with Tim Cook, and we'll see how breakfast at Apple goes today. So I'm not sure if we can make too much out of it, but that is one stock that will be in the news today. It will be somewhat volatile, and we'll see if Apple gets a bid after Tim Cook meets with Carl Icahn today on a highly publicized breakfast or lunch or whatever they're going to do. But either way, Apple could be in focus today. Looking at a few other names out here, you have a lot of movers, but nothing dramatic. It looks like the market is the biggest mover regarding any equity out here. You're looking at the S&P. If you take a look at the U.S. dollar versus the Japanese yen, you're going to see that that is sharply lower. So again, the dollar weaker against the Japanese yen, and anytime that happens, that's going to help bring the markets lower. Again, that carry trade is definitely one of the trades that supports the S&P 500. Looking over the board here at oil and gold this morning, you're going to see that oil is trading down another $1.14 to 101.74. $101.74 a barrel. Let's take a look at the USO, which is a good proxy for light sweet crude. And you'll see that's trading right now around 36.69. So decent little dip. It closed at 36.96 on Friday, but oil down another dollar today. We'll see if oil can fall further. There is a lot of support here currently for oil, but we'll see how that plays out. Looking at the gold market today, gold was higher earlier and is now down 7.5. Make that almost $8 to $13.3160 a barrel. An ounce. Gold is down $13.3160 an ounce. Let's take a look at the all-important GLD, and you'll see that is trading right now around 128.49. I can't make too much out of gold right now. Looking at the charts, it's very choppy, sloppy, not a very clean pattern, but nonetheless, gold, spot gold, and the GLD are both lower before the opening bell today. So that's something you're going to want to watch for going forward. Again, the big news today is really going to be all about the government shutdown. I don't think it's that big a deal personally. I think they'll strike a deal probably in the 11th hour, or they'll wait and they'll strike a deal soon afterwards. But we'll see how this all plays out. But again, there won't be a real shutdown of the government completely. People will still get their mail. People will still get checks. The only thing that will be disturbed will be museums, parks, things like that. They will be shut down temporarily. But either way, this isn't the first time that the U.S. has gone through this, and I'm sure during this administration it won't be the last. So again, we'll see how it all plays out. We'll see where it goes from here. But this is what we're dealing with today, and you want to be a little bit on your toes. Futures, once again, are down 15.25 points, so they've come off their lows just a little bit. But any deal by the government, you probably get a big bounce. Any confirmation that there won't be a deal, the markets could sell off further. So that's what we're looking at right now. It's just going to be a choppy session. I have no idea what is going to happen. All I know is that we've had a decent pullback over the past week or so, and the markets are still pointing lower at the moment. So that's all we can make out of it. You don't want to overstep here. You don't want to overshoot. You just want to take it one step at a time. Keep an eye on the dollar-yen chart. That will tell you a lot. If the dollar-yen starts to get a bid, that usually is a good indication that the stock market in the United States will get a bid, meaning the S&P 500. With that said, everybody, I'm going to leave it there short and sweet. Have a great trading day, and welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the weekend. Take care, everybody.